What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Comment Writers. I'm your host, Josh Meek, the Uber Geek. Today on the show, we're going to talk about Comment Writer Gav, episode 46. I'm joined, as always, by my good friend, Toby Tobes. How's it going, Toby?
Fantastic, Josh. Fantastic.
Glad to hear it. Man, I got to tell you. So my kid is going into kindergarten for the first time. And I don't know if you've been around anyone in, like, a modern school setting, but there are so many apps, Toby, so many different apps and websites that we have to keep track of it's just insane. There's one where the teacher can message us that we have, that's an app. There's a school or a classroom website that we have to keep track of. There's an app for where the bus is at. There's a separate website that doesn't work on your phone for which bus you're on, separate than where the bus is at. Where the bus is at. There's a website for, I don't even know what that one's for, actually, like general information stuff's gonna get posted there once in a while, but isn't the classroom website and isn't the other app for where the teacher can message. There's literally like 6 different platforms. Oh, there's one for the school lunch account that I had to sign up for a long time ago, but that's where we put money on it for the school lunches. I'm sure I'm forgetting one. There's like so many different platforms. Like, I don't know why there's not just one. Like, there feels like there should just be one, but there's like a million different apps, Toby. And they all have dumb names. They're all like, it's all like Talking Point and Power School, and yeah, it's all
Power School.
and so now, like, I'm gonna have to be a person who knows what it means when someone says, like, oh, I schloopsed that to you on Power School, and that's awful. I hate that reality for me.
So like more times than not, it's really kind of just like me making up bullshit lies at work. Like when sometimes like someone like will send you like a Teams message or a Slack message, and then they'll send you an email and they're like, did you get my Teams message, or vice versa?
Yeah.
And like you start touching all the bases of all the communication places to try and like get a hold of you and validate.
Just go down the line. Yep.
Yeah. Like, this seems like the nightmare scenario where they post something to like one of the kids' 7 different apps, and then one day your kid goes into school and they're like, oh, you can't go on the field trip today. Your parents didn't sign the permission slip. And then she comes home and yells at you, and you go through this whole thing. But it seems like there's too many ways that you can miss where the information goes.
Absolutely.
Unless you're actively checking all 5, 6, 7 places.
Yep.
Which I guess we'll call it part of parenting now. But like,
I guess, yeah.
I feel like I would make a mistake and miss one of those, or not check them all actively enough, or like, oh no, we told you yesterday that today we're doing this, and you were supposed to just reply yes or no, and you'd be like, well, I didn't know. I got slurped on Power School, and I double checked Bus Finder, but the bus said it wasn't there, and I forgot the other website, so I didn't know where the bus was, and blah blah blah. Like, yeah. There's too many moving parts of failure, I feel like.
I didn't know you flooped me on Talktown. I thought I was supposed to look at the schloops over on Power School.
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. And then, not to mention, there's also like a physical folder that comes home every day. So there could be physical notes inside the folder too that are important.
I feel like either, like, if we're doing this technology swerve, like, I'll assume kids don't really do like Trapper Keepers full of folders anymore. Like, the fuck do I know about kindergarten to high school, whatever. But like, I feel like you have to go all the way or like none of the way. And I know for a while, like, schools were like, oh, here's your Chromebook, just do everything in the Chromebook. And that seems smarter, at least. We're focusing on one like data point and just saying like, everything goes here now, knock yourself out.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Certainly isn't like that for us in kindergarten. I don't know if it ends up being like that later, but yeah, here it is not. It is a hodgepodge of a million things. It feels like a bunch of people had a bunch of good ideas, and no one like decided what the correct good idea was, and they just did all the ideas. Like, someone was like, oh, we should have like an app for the bus. Like, oh, that's great. We should definitely do that. And it's like, oh, we should have an app for, teacher communication. We definitely should. And no one stopped and thought like, wait, maybe we could shop for like one app that does all the things, because those have to exist, I would imagine.
I
But
mean, you do smart computer things. You specifically
yeah,
should make an app called like blah 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 school district, and just like skim all the APIs of all these apps and put them all
that'd be
into one
nice.
super app, and
Yeah, we
then you'd be a fucking millionaire, or at
we
least something.
we're like one day into like living this reality so far, and I'm already frustrated enough with it that I want to do that. I want to make the one app to rule the apps. Uh,
You could also
we
just put
haven't.
like you could put an air tag on your kid's bus.
So that's yeah. I mean, the reality is that's what we're doing. Like the bus tracking app is not super useful if she already has an air tag in her backpack, right? So we're handling the problem ourselves, but you know, there's also an app where you can real time check where the bus is at.
No, I'm saying like you put an air tag on the bus,
Oh, on the physical bus.
and then your phone just blows up when the bus moves.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, and then every the bus driver who drives it suddenly gets the notification where it's like, "There's been an air tag following your location for 2 weeks now." Whatever that
There's
safety
some
thing
like
is.
crazy like thing in my mind where just because like the outside of the buses are still like that shitty gunmetal yellow all the
Uh-huh.
time. Like I feel like school bus technology, at least visually from the outside, hasn't changed in like 70 years.
Yeah, I don't
So
think they
like
changed on the inside either.
yeah, so like it seems crazy to me that like they do have GPSs in the buses now.
Yeah,
Because like when I
they're
was
like
on the
low
bus,
jacked. Yeah,
yeah, there was no air on the bus and the windows didn't go down half the time, and everyone's just fucking miserable in them. So
yeah.
having like air tags and shit or GPS or whatever just seems crazy.
The only other like technology thing that I was impressed with so far is, when I was in school, to date myself, everyone out here who's younger than me listening to this, when I was in school, we had like overhead projectors, right? It wasn't even like a computer hooked up to a projector. In a lot of cases, it was literally an overhead projector and a teacher using a marker to write on like transparencies on the overhead projector. Now my daughter's classroom has a giant television screen that you literally write on it with like special, stylus pens. And it's like this cool, crazy, like, 70-inch tablet that you can draw on. And so that's a big improvement from the overhead projectors of yore.
Do you think like kids get the same vibe where since like everything's on the computer now, but when we had like substitutes and stuff, that they did walk away for like seventh period, they come strolling back in with that fucking shitty VHS player on that shitty cart with the 20-inch CRT, and you're like, we're not doing a goddamn thing today. But like since everything's on the computer now, it just seems crazy to me that like you won't get that cool like internal high of like, oh, what are we doing today?
You won't,
Like,
yeah.
instead, you're just like, is she gonna open YouTube? Is she not gonna open YouTube? Where are we going?
Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. You're not gonna know until that tab comes open and YouTube.com gets typed in.
Also, it has like that has the prime possible failure of like I know there's jokes. We're like, oh, a college professor opened his history and there was Pornhub or something in it. But I feel like you're really like walking a dangerous line of like, were the teachers on some stupid website where they're accidentally gonna forget to like close it or God knows what else happens.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm already very careful with like work laptop versus personal laptop stuff. Uh, and not even for anything bad. It's just like it's things like, I don't like doing like personal email stuff on my work laptop and things like that. But yeah, I that would be I'd be so extra hyper vigilant about that if I was a teacher, like knowing that my screen's gonna get put up in front of like all of the children every day. I'd be
Never
like, no,
screen share.
yeah. I'd be worried about it all the time. I'd be knowing that I didn't do anything that's bad, but that's still worried about it for some reason.
That's pretty much what I do. Like when I have to do like a screen share for work, at worst, I have like 27 stupid tabs open of like YouTube stuff or Reddit posts or like retro achievements. And I
Yeah,
have like Discord open. And I'm never doing anything productive in Discord. It's always just bullshitting with you or
yeah,
others and
talking to me.
sending memes or GIFs or God knows what else. And I forget what job it was, when it happened, whatever. But one time I feel like I screen shared like just my plain desktop, and upon hitting like screen share, Teams, Jabber, or whatever IM client popped up, and I was quick enough to like close the conversation right away. But it was definitely a conversation that I don't want other people to see. And I still have that fear deep in my soul of like, if I hit like share Chrome only, I still worry that like something's gonna pop up, or like my Teams is gonna come up where I'm like, this vendor's a fucking moron, but like the other person I'm sharing the screen with, or God knows what else. So, like I hard close everything possible, and I'm like, here's a brand new window. There's nothing else possibly open. I feel safer in this life.
Yeah, I do the same. Like I try to only share the like window itself that I'm talking about. I don't ever do like the share window, share whole screen thing. Cause yeah, like who knows like who at work is gonna message me and say something out of pocket that the person I'm screen sharing with shouldn't see. Um and even then, yeah, I'm like you. I'm like very vigilant about it and like try to make sure that doesn't pop up because yeah, I don't know how many times I've like been in a meeting and have gotten messages that would be like very embarrassing for the person sending it to me if the person I'm on the meeting with had seen it. So, yeah, I try to be pretty mindful of that stuff. And I don't do like Discord on work computer or anything like that either
I'll
for
see
that
like
same reason.
I'll see. I always do Discord. I think I would be bored during the day if I didn't have Discord. On like
Well, I mean, like I have Discord on my phone, which is like usually nearby. So then I'll pick up my phone and talk to you or whatever.
I'll see. I can't internet like that. I'm gonna call it old age at this point. But I hate doing my phone for anything that I could do on the computer.
Yeah,
But
it's not ideal.
Yeah, like every professional job I've ever had, I found whatever ways possible to work around that gap and get on the things I had to.
Yeah.
So the last job was a super high security place, but the one day I realized that like they blocked like Discord, um, they blocked Gmail and some other shit, and I was like, why use Gmail to chat with people? And I use Discord to chat with people. I'm gonna get bored here. So I figured out that like it's probably long dead now. Google used to have RDP, like remote desktop manager, whatever,
Yeah.
like built into Chrome, where if you installed the client on your computer, you could RDP out of a Google session anyplace else to your home computer. So I realized that in spite of like Gmail being blocked, I could just RDP to my home computer from my work computer. Again, at a very high security place. And I used that for like 3 years until eventually security caught on and like turned it off. And I found a workaround at that point where like Discord, I side loaded somehow. And I realized that like work was blocking Discord updates, but it used to be able to like run a command to launch Discord and skip the update check. So then I never had to worry about that. And then at the job now, we have like basically protection software of like, you can't go to these file sharing sites. You can't do social media. You can't do this. So because I'm the administrator now of all these things, I just don't even install this shit on my computer. So like I have the most insecure computer at work. And to that point, I do probably the worst things on my computer at work.
Yep.
And for no real reason. Like I could minimize my work computer and just like talk to you on Discord on my personal computer. But now I'm like minimizing Windows for no reason. And it's just not convenient for me.
It's just not convenient. I just need to be able to easily have my non-work conversations.
I need real-time access to everybody everywhere.
Yeah. Exactly. Let's see. I used to, so one of my early jobs, after I graduated from grad school, I taught for a little bit. I taught college for a little bit. And that's a fun job because like you know, like your time that matters is when you're in the classroom, right? Like that's your time that's like, you know, very active. But like the rest of your time is like it's prepping for classes and stuff. So like just in my office, just hanging out, prepping and stuff, doing work. But then I'm like, I can just talk to you all the time. So that was the height of my chatting with people during work instead of working. Because it was just like the time was so free and no one really bugged me. That was the dream.
It sounds a fantastic dream.
It is, yeah. So that's a lesson out there for you kids. If you're looking for jobs, find you a job. Don't try to get something that's like high pay or anything like that. No, what you're really looking for is a job that you can easily have Discord open all day long and talk to your friends. That's really That's the ideal. That's the platonic perfect job.
I guess so. Like, are we going to like other conversations from like last week, the week before? I think I'm just geared to doing what I want to do the way I want to do it, and I will just work around whatever systems I have to get that done.
Yeah.
Like when I used to like sell like the VCDs on eBay or like anything I've ever downloaded or stuff like that. It's really just like things become inconvenient to me that I know there's solutions to, and I just say, well, I'm going to find that solution today, and I'll waste hours trying to get something to work the right way, and then if it doesn't, I'll just be like, oh, I'll just turn this off then. So
Yeah. You also you have enough knowledge that you probably usually can figure out like the workaround or whatever. Right? You're a computer guy. You know what's up. You often will have the the privileges and stuff on the systems too to be able to do that stuff. So like you have the know-how and you have the determination to make it work.
I have too much power. I have too
Yeah,
much power.
exactly. Yeah. No one man should have all that power.
Yeah. End goals. Fuck around all day at work. I have that one though.
It really like that is really that's the Shangri-La that we're all looking for,
Yeah.
you know? I guess yeah, either you find a job that you are like truly actually passionate about. Like, I'm sure like people who play, professional sports like really are passionate about playing that sport. But like for the most of the time, like a job's a job and you have your hobbies and those are separate from your job and stuff. So it's like, yeah, you just want a job that like doesn't hassle you too much, right? That's really what we're looking for. But anywho, Toby, speaking of jobs that don't hassle you too much, Shoma got a new job this week.
I
Professional
thought you were gonna talk about.
assassin.
I thought you were gonna talk about this show, and I was gonna say this show's like talking to you is a job with a giant hassle. Just
It
for the
is,
record.
yeah, yeah. You do it pro bono throughout the day a lot of times too, so that's on you, man.
I guess so.
You're forced to talk to me for a couple hours once a week, but the rest of the time, I can't blame me for that one. That's on
I'm
you.
trying to. I'm just trying to make today a little bit easier for myself. And after all these years of talking to you daily, it's just really not helping. I'm just gonna throw it out there.
I don't know what that means. Is that
It
a
just,
burn?
yeah, it just doesn't get easier. I talk to you every day, hoping that Mondays feel better, and they just never feel
Okay.
better. For like a
You're
day, for like a decade plus, it just doesn't get better,
doesn't
Josh.
get better. You'd think you would learn by now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying like work. I'm trying to brute force my way through this.
Well, let's brute force our way through some discussion of Common Rider.
Let's do
Uh,
that. That sounds
t-
like an idea.
it does, yeah. Today on the show we watched episode 46 of gavv, and this was a very exciting episode. There's a lot of big things that are going on here. We get to see some cool stuff, I think. And this episode, spoiler, made me cry a little bit, Toby, when I was watching it. I shed a little tear came out.
That seems
Uh,
silly.
I'll tell you what when that point was when we get to it. But of course, last time around, episode 45, Shoma accepted Niel's his proposal to come back to Granute World and take out President Boca, become the new president, and help Stomach Family sort of rise to power. And if Shoma does that, then Niel will remove all of the agents, all of the Granutes from Earth, and will seal the doors. So basically, protecting all the people on Earth permanently, Shoma is going to sacrifice himself.
What a
So
champ.
we pick up from
He's
there.
gonna give away his love of candy for the love
Yeah,
of his friends.
exactly. The ultimate sacrifice. So we start from there, and Niel very clearly is like, he's high on his own supply here. He can feel his plans coming together. He's really excited about it in a real like evil maniacal genius type of way. And Nielv gives Shoma the gun that Suga used to hypnotize people.
The sleepy gun. The
The
sleepy
sleepy
juice
gun. Yep. And that's going to be the plan for taking out President Boca, assassinating President Boca. And Shoma's like ready for this. He's like, all right, I'm gonna do it.
And he seemed ready too. Like they developed their whole little plan, which seemed like a solid plan. And then like the best part of said plan was when Shoma did his best Pidgey impersonation and like
Oh my
swooped the
god.
hair and got the glasses and like even like during his whole I'm faking being my brother stuff, it was amazing because obviously like I'm sure they taught him or told him how to Pidgey it up and yelve it up, whatever. But he would even walk and do like the two fingers push up the glasses from both sides while he was walking, and like he did an amazing job of imitation there.
Yeah, even the things that he said both sounded like Nielv in terms of like how his voice sounded, but also like the words that he was saying were like the words that Nielv would say, like oh I found some discrepancies, like that sort of a thing. Like he was very like proper and stuff. And yeah, doing the glasses push up and like everything about him was very Nielv. It was very, very well done on Shoma's actor's part
Oh
and
yeah,
on the direction. Yeah, they did great at that. I really love to the build up to that scene because they don't tell you ahead of time that the plan is for him to dress up like his brother. You just know he's going to try to assassinate the president. So we cut back to him and they're showing basically like the boots getting pulled on without showing his face. And then like the tie, the ascot getting kind of like put in place. And then finally we see like the glasses getting pushed up. And then we get the full body shot, and you realize that it is Shoma doing like the perfect copy of the whole Nielv look. And you get to see like Shoma's clothes like laid out on the table, like he took them off and put these on. I thought that was a really cool scene where they like ease you into the realization this isn't Nielv, this is Shoma.
yeah, because especially to like the conversational agreement, deal, plot, whatever was Nielv was like, I'm gonna get the twins distracted one direction, or
Yeah,
the twins and the wife, whatever, and they're like, you're gonna go talk to the president, because and Shoma's like, well, so I'm gonna be, so basically it's all gonna be my fault when this happens, blah blah blah. And Niall was like, oh no, just do it in the darkness. Like this, it has to work this way so that we know you're powerful. But like, trust me, like this plan will work. And then like you see Niall split off first with the two twins, and you're like, well, this is how he got them where they're supposed to go. And you're just like, okay, Shoma's just gonna go wander off, I guess. And you see the doppelganger Shoma doing
yeah.
his best thing.
Which is awesome. I also really love this is a really minor thing, but the Granute world often feels so disjointed where they show different parts of it. And I liked that they actually had Shoma like have to navigate his way to the president's palace. I thought that was cool. Where he was like, "Oh, I think it's this way," and then he like goes through a door and he's like across this big giant bridge to the palace. And he like walk across the bridge to get to the palace. I thought that was cool. There was a little bit of like positional context applied to the Granute world. And we see it a bit with Shoma's friends coming to find him, where they're like poking their heads in doors trying to find the right spot too. So that was pretty fun.
They have a lot of good. They have a lot of good ideas, or like maybe not like the first doors in and stuff, but basically when like everyone kind of like committed to like, oh yeah, from like this room you can turn the left and go down this hallway, and then like the fifth door down to the right in this hallway is like always the door that goes where the president lives, and like that was all super solid. But like it was funny too because even tied to the president stuff, I feel like Shoma would have got busted the entire time before he got busted later, because I would assume they all saw Nielv enough to know what Nielv looks like. Like they're all like have worse face blindness than we do.
Well, the President Boca kind of addresses that because like after sort of the reveal, and Shoma tries to shoot him, and then he henshins. He's like, "Oh, you're not Nielv after all." And he's like, "Ah, all you humans look the same, or like all human faces look the same to me." He says something along those
Yeah,
lines, which is very funny. I love
yeah,
the
like
idea that like the Grenoots can't tell humans apart.
yeah, like I guess mainly it's all tied to that then, because like he basically Shoma meets like the two outside guards, and they're like, "Oh, you're here! Like, come on in." And he meets like the inside guards, and they're like, "Oh, okay, come on in." And then he stands next to the president, and he's or in front of the president, and then next to him, and he's just talking to him, and he's like, "Oh, you have data to show me? Sure, show me your tablet." So he's like 3 feet away from him, holding a tablet in his face. And the president's just like, "Oh, Neil, nice to see you."
Yeah. Also, I'm sure the president too. Like that's a little bit of a indicator that he's pretty self-centered. He doesn't super concern himself very much with other people. I bet. So it probably lends itself to that working out well.
But yeah, like that, and like you said, like he makes the comment of, "Oh, humans all look alike," and that kind of bullshit. But I guess like if he cares so little about all of them that like he probably has face blindness, but like not in the way that we do. Just like it's like looking at ants, and you're just like,
Yeah,
"Oh, there's 27 ants, no big deal." And
yeah.
like just same vibe.
Yeah,
Just
that's a really great analogy. Yeah, it's like, is it really face blindness if you just see everyone as like insignificant little ants? Like, no, it's just whichever little ant you are. It
yeah, it's
doesn't
just
matter to
you.
me. Oh man. Before Shoma headed out to go assassinate the president, he had a very touching scene in his little room because it's the same room where he and his mother stayed. So he like flashes back to some good memories of his mom, telling him about Earth and like the snacks that she likes there and stuff. And then he, in current time, looks at the table and like very teary-eyed tells her about how much he likes Earth, and it's filled with people that he loves, and it's filled with snacks that he enjoys, and he really really has loved his time there, and that was like so sweet. It made me cry. I thought the show's actor did such an amazing job at that, like at that dialogue, at that little speech he gave. And I thought it was such a cute little moment there for Shoma to like pay a little tribute to his mom, but also like sort of recap like, hey, things are like going really good in my life, and like, he really hits him at that point, everything he's giving up for this thing he's doing right now.
Yeah,
So
it
yeah,
was
I thought
good. It just
thought
didn't.
yeah,
It just didn't. It didn't get me.
I must have
But
just been, you know,
you were in one.
Yeah, exactly. I was just in one, but no, it was very, very, very well done. I didn't expect it to get sort of that heavy, but I'm glad they didn't really like shy away from that. Right? It's like a dude having this sort of heartfelt moment with his dead mom, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. I like that this show has done that level. Not dark is the right word, but like that level of like heavy stuff a couple times. I like that they don't back away from that type of thing. Of course, in the real world, in Earth, I guess they're both real worlds. Not to put Granute World down. Back on Earth, Shoma has left a note. He's left what is basically like a suicide note for Sachika, where he's like telling her thank you, but like he won't be back, and she's instantly mad, obviously. And I thought it was really cool. Hanto and Rakia are like, well, he must have went to the Granute world to handle this himself, and they, without a moment's hesitation, they're like, all right, well, we got to go. Like, how do we get there? What do we do?
And it's crazy because not even like it starts a trend, I guess we'll call it, of best girl Sachika,
Yep.
who at this point, and I guess probably for most of the show, we just never knew about, or like that they really like visualized or showed. Like she's very like no fucks given. Like she's going with her friends who are effectively superheroes when she's just a human, and she's like, fucking monster world, let's go. Shoma's over there. What do I care?
Yeah.
And even like tied to that, like I think my favorite moment of this episode was like Sachika sees Longo again. She realizes that like he's opening the door. She's like, I know this dude, blah blah blah. And I guess we'll call it the good in Longo. Just thinks she's kind of a pain in the ass, but doesn't like just kill her to kill her or do anything stupid like that.
Yeah.
But then the opposite of that, like she saw Longo murder a Granute, basically cold blood, just like completely cut him down, took him out, and she gives like absolutely no fucks, and she finds a broom and just charges at him with a broom, and she's like basically like, I'll kill you too. And she gets the most offended when Longo's like, I run a business. What would you know about that? And she like hawks out and snaps, and she's like, I know everything about that. How dare you? And like rages, and that's when the two boys come to save her and like actively like do the "we're pulling you back by both arms" together. But she was pissed, and they made it look good. Of like she was ready to fucking kill Longo with her broom and did not care.
That was easily my favorite scene in all of gavv so far. I think that was expertly done because yeah, like you said, I would have never thought to juxtapose like the fact that they're both like bosses, and that was such a brilliant way to sort of like get them on the same playing field for like a moment for a conversation, and really contrast them as people. That was so smart. Because yeah, like you said, you get to see she gets to see how dangerous Longo is, and then he gets to show off his like aloof nature with being a boss. Like, I don't care, they're pawns, like they're supposed to be disposable, and she gets to take personal offense at that because that is antithetical to her whole being, right? Like people matter, my friends matter, my employees matter. And yeah, she just like not a care in the world charges at this guy who she actively knows is probably the most dangerous person she's ever encountered. And she's like, no, I'm gonna stand on business right now.
Yeah, like, and again, like it's all just crazy because if we're in like real life, this so like she basically saw a guy with a gun just shoot somebody for the hell of it, and then she runs at the guy with the gun with a broom. And she's
Yeah.
like, I don't care who you are, I'm gonna smack you with this fucking broom, dude. And she just goes for it and just doesn't care.
Yep. Also, very very interesting that scene to add some nuance to Longo as a character, because like up until this point he's kind of just been pure evil, and he has this exchange with Sachika, and she steps to him. He can easily just kill her, but like he doesn't, right? He clearly makes a decision to like, I'm gonna kind of swat this gnat away and not actually like bring down the full brunt of my power. And then even crazier, he opens the door and then walks away so they can go in. Like he literally lets them in to Granute World. And like part of that is I think he wants to probably just like throw a wrench in the gears of everything that's happening in the Granute World, but like weirdly he helped them after Sachika is like, putting him in his place.
Yeah, I guess like the only vibe to that, I guess, or the conversation to go with that is like, is he actively on Team Pidgey at this point? Is he actively on, I'm gonna take this place back over once all this other shit goes down? Is he actively on team like, hey, Shoma's not actually a little junk kid, he's probably the strongest of all of us, I want to get him on my side, just like I want to be on the right side of history at the end of this, maybe I won't have to die too. There's a lot of options to go with that out there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he shakes out. I think from what he said in this episode, like he has a little statement at some point about like, I'm sure Nielv wants to take out the president. The president being gone, will really help me out. So I hopefully Nielv can succeed or whatever he says. So I think he sees like at this point he sees Shoma and Nielv's plotting as like a loaded gun pointed at the president, and like that works for him. So, kind of the enemy of my enemy is my friend sort of situation. I don't know. I don't know if he'd be buddy with Nielv, but like at this point, they're sort of fortunes are aligned, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, certainly, this scene made Longo so much more of a fascinating character to me than he was before. I really liked it, and of course Sachika, like you said, like ride or die. Even when the doors open and Longo walks away, she like survives that encounter. The very next thing is she's like, "All right, let's go," and she's charging in the door, and they have to grab her and be like, "No, boss lady, you're gonna stay here."
That's crazy part too. Of like, I'll say that I know they all care the same. It's just nuts that out of the three of them, the one that goes the hardest is the one that like has nothing, and then of course like she's the one that gets left back because like granted she's has no powers, and it seems insane to go to like the boss swarm hive when you really can't do anything, but she was the first one ready to go, and she's the one that got held back.
She's a ride or die. Yeah. And of course things don't quite go as planned once we get into the president's quarters. Like you said, he holds the tablet up to him, kind of has an excuse for why he's there, and then Shoma pulls the gun out and shoots the president and tells him to to not resist. I think is what he says. However, resist is exactly what the president is able to do. Turns out the big reveal is that he has an antidote for himself for the hypnosis, and he developed it before he gave the body of the hypnosis granute over to Niel. So basically, he was like he built himself in a way to protect himself if this ever got used against him, which is very cool as a villain thing to do.
Yeah, like he was. It was definitely a genius idea. Like I guess that's how you become the president of a crazy world where people turn people into candy and other shit. But like to use the dumb joke line, that's definitely like some 4D chess shit where they're like, hey, by the way, there's something like if I'm giving someone this power, they could use this power against me. So before I give it to them, what is the turnaround with this that I can protect myself with? And then it was, oh, okay, I guess I'll just give myself an antidote.
Yeah. It was cool to see it as another indicator of like why Boca is the president, like why he's so powerful. Because we'd seen like a little bit, but not a ton. Where like we got to see him manipulate that other politician and get him hooked on dark confections and stuff like that. So we got to see a little bit of his like machinations. But this one, like you said, the 4D chess move was like, oh, this guy's like playing the game. Like he knows exactly what everyone's gonna try to do before they're doing it, and he's like one step ahead. So yeah, it was cool to see that aspect of him. And this fight is crazy. So Shoma's like pulling out all the stops to try to take him down. We see in the middle of this fight, so Shoma's able to like burn through a couple of the agents, the butlers. But whenever he tries to attack the president, a couple times we see the president is able to control Shoma briefly. Like he tells him to bow down at one point, and like everything stops, and Shoma like falls to the ground and can't control his body for a second. Which they don't fully explain. Like obviously he took the antidote, so he didn't get hypnotized, but he has some means of controlling Shoma, and we don't really know why or how. So that's interesting.
Was it like Shoma directly, or just like I'm the OP final boss? I can do all sorts of crazy things to just stop you.
I don't know. I read it as Shoma directly, but maybe he's just got some weird like telepathic powers and stuff. It could be that. Yeah.
Like that was kind of my assumption. But like the fight was super sick, and one of my favorite things that they did, which is prime pure video game horseshit. At one point they did we're gonna throw 1,000 swords in the air, and the character runs across the sword blades as like platforms, stepping stones, whatever. And they did that with the Shoma fight. I was like, hell yeah, this is like a classic thing. This is cool.
Yeah. It's so dumb and over the top, but it's so awesome too. Yeah, it looks really, really great. There's a lot of really great visuals in this fight as the president like he's that stereotype of the guy who like doesn't even have to lift a finger to do the combat. So like at points in this battle, he's like kind of sitting and acting bored and stuff. And that's a cool, awesome demeanor for him. And then the visuals here are great. At one point, they take the battle like outside to a forest at nighttime. So it's like this forest that's like bathed in red.
Oh yeah,
and,
that part looks sick. Yeah.
Shoma's literally like running through the forest like he's like prey or something, and the president just kind of following him, shooting lasers. And that is the coolest looking scene ever. Shoma like is clearly running for his life at that point. It's not a fight anymore. And the president's just kind of stalking him through the forest. That was neat. That's also the scene where his friends show up to help him. And
the part where when they're doing the forest dark laser beam shooting pew pew part, I think it was in the last Star Wars movie I saw. I feel like there's a scene where Rey and Adam Driver are like shooting lasers at each other in the snow in the darkness.
Yes, yeah.
Those cool glowing things. Like it reminded me of that specifically because it was basically just backlit by the gunfire and like hunted vibes and all sorts of cool shit.
Totally, yeah. That's a great pull. I agree. It looked very much like that. Yeah. Shoma's friends show up. They shield him from the big huge blast. from Boca, because at this point Shoma is he's been shot in the leg and he's completely dehensioned. So his friends are able to sort of protect him and then like grab him and run with him. Basically, is what they do at this point. They grab him and kind of bolt, and they barely get away in time. So there's like butler agents chasing them down, and we get like the dramatic scene where they go through a door and manage to like slam it just in time before the butlers get through. So they get him back to the real world, but like it was just a run as fast as you can rescue mission, and obviously the president is fine, and he didn't get taken down, he didn't get assassinated, and he shows up, the president shows up to Niel's laboratory, and Niel's face is like, oh my god, he's still alive.
Oh shit!
He's got no poker face, and we see the president say, "I just need to have a word with Niel here." So yeah, that's not gonna go well, I don't think.
I was expecting the death this episode. I'm going to assume the death is next episode, or
Yeah,
something,
I think.
because
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's the end of the elf.
yeah, I don't see President Boca letting him stay alive after this very clear betrayal. Yeah. And then we have our very emotional reunion with Shoma and his friends, but specifically with Sachika. She's very, very happy to see that he's okay, but she like kind of runs over and like headbutts him and reminds him like, you promised that you would never leave like this, and
Yeah,
makes
like
him say sorry.
the love my brother headbutt was amazing. Where she
Yeah.
like tried to like knock some sense into him.
Yeah, I don't think I ever would have like written that in the script or like directed it that way, but the way she played it was so good. It felt very like your family, right? Yeah, it felt like something you would do with a family member, and I liked that a lot. And then she, obviously Shoma here is he tried to like sacrifice himself for the greater good, but she then like is reframing it of like, hey, if you're not happy, then I failed my job. So I want you to be happy. So like they end with like, what do you want? Like, what does Shoma want? And he's like, I want to be here. I want to stay here. I thought that was very cute at the end. As a way to like reel him back from the self-sacrifice of it all,
He better. So I was looking. So everything online at this point swears the last episode is the weekend of the 30th and 31st, and Zetz's comes out September 7th or 6th,
Okay.
whatever. So we have 4 more episodes to go. It's gonna be another like solid 50 season. What all do you think happens at the end here? Because obviously the president has to go down, or that has to be a thing. But I feel like this is usually where like the precipice is for me, of where I feel like we dance around the ending, and sometimes the shows have to like stretch it out extra far.
Yeah.
And I just feel like we're in a weird gap right now of, I feel like there's not another 4 episodes worth of this show left.
Yeah. Let's see. So Nielv has to die. That won't be a whole episode, but I think Nielv has to die. We have to take out President Boca. That fight will probably be a good chunk of an episode, or maybe a whole episode. Then Longo has to get reinserted here somehow. So I don't know if that is like he's fighting on the side of Shoma in order to take out the president. Like they showed us how powerful the president is. And at this point, like I don't think the 3 Kamen Riders by themselves could do it. So I think that maybe teaming up with Longo for that fight is the only way that it maybe can happen.
Yeah.
And then I guess we have to confront Longo then after that, right? Like maybe like the enemy of my enemy is my friend to beat the president. And then we have to be like, okay, but now you're a problem too. and we have to finish that off. So I think my thoughts are that the actual final boss is going to be Longo, but the big fight might be Boca before that. So if we do like Longo fight as the last episode, Boca fight is the episode before that. Yeah, I don't know what we do with like an episode and a half or 2 episodes there then.
Yeah. And I'm sure it'll be fine. They've done nothing but goodness this whole time so far. So I have faith, but I'm just interested to see where it goes. They're writing a good television show.
They certainly are.
In seeing where it goes.
We have to get a little bit of closure with with Jeep as well. We have to figure out what he does and what his, I guess, like the finality of the story with him and Lascelles is going to be.
Oh
Because
yeah, yes,
like
that's fair.
because she needs her comeuppance too. She's been such a nightmare character this whole time, and we know she's super powerful. So maybe we just fight her directly too. I don't know.
Well, see, what they can do then is Jeep kills his wife, Shoma or Longo defeat the president, and then all the Stomach family who's left can still take back over. And then because Shoma's going to help him, he's like, look, you guys can stay here. Just stay the fuck off of Earth. And that's the conclusion they come to. And then Shoma lives happily ever after.
I'd buy it. That sounds good to me. But like you said, great TV show. I'm very excited every time a new episode comes out. Excited to watch it, and I'm very excited for what these next 4 episodes hold. But Sachika, best girl for sure. So let's jump over to emails. Emails come to cast@commonwritersucks.com. Once again, that is cast@commonwritersucks.com. Feel free to send us in emails if you're out there in listener land. You can email about anything that you want to tell us. We'll read it on the show. We have an email this week coming in from our friend Shade. Shade says that Boca fell for the old Clark Kent glasses trick. LMAO.
That's very true.
It is very true. Have you watched the new Superman yet, Toby?
No. So, as a general statement, anything that's usually like, have you watched? The answer is 99% of the time no. Sometimes the answer is I'll add it to my list, but that list is just kind of like it poofs up in the air like a dead Gochizo, and I just kind of forget about it until like I get reminded again, and then once again I go, hey, I should probably watch this thing. I heard it was good, and then I just get stuck in a loop, and I watch things I already saw because comfort is the key or something.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, but yeah, if anyone's out there is on the fence about watching Superman, I thought it was very, very good. It's definitely one to watch when it comes out on streaming or Max or wherever. It is the start of like the new DC universe that they're trying to do, and like they set some things up I think that are really fun and really cool. And this is probably my favorite take on Lois and on Superman that I've like ever seen from these two actors. So it was very, very fun. Speaking of Superman, we saw it this week. But anyway, Shade says, well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the final stretch of Kamen Rider Gav. But before that, I would like to address a mistake from last week. Last time I said that the Zets press conference would happen on Thursday, but I forgot to specify it was on Thursday, August 11th. The press conference will happen on Thursday this week, so be sure to check it out once it comes out. We'll let it slide this time, Shade. We'll let it slide. Shade says, now on to some news. Bandai has put out a few promos showcasing the Zets driver, and we got a video of how the toy itself will work. And then there's a commercial. Shade says some interesting things about the promos. First, apparently this is the first time in 17 years they've had the actor himself promoting the toy in a commercial. They haven't done it since Kamen Rider Kiva in 2008, which is hard to believe. Like, you've already got the guy. Just film a quick commercial. What are we doing?
Yeah, just roll down a nice little green screen and
yeah, it doesn't seem that hard. Shade says, secondly, in the commercial, you can hear the Zets actor say, "I'm on it" in English. This could very well be his catchphrase in the show. Not a bad one, in my opinion. That's cool. I like "I'm on it." That's very fun.
So the kid with the driver across his chest, that's actually Zets?
Correct. Yep.
So the other two people are they hosts? Or are they...
Oh, wait, hang on. I maybe linked you. Oh, yeah, he's not in that video. I'm sorry. He's in this other one. Let me link you to the correct one.
This toy kind of looks like shit.
Really? I think it looks kind of cool.
It looks like cheap plastic.
Well, yeah, they're all cheap plastic.
No, but like the clear plastic part that's like the strap.
Yeah.
Looks like flimsy like silicone rest mat for my dinner.
Oh yeah. So I think it's like that because it lights up. So like when the driver is activated, it it sends lights through all of that see-through part.
So like
So
has the fancy LEDs and stuff.
so I think in actual practice, I think it looks cooler. Like once it's actually running, I think it looks cooler than it does just standalone. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, it is relatively cheap plastic in a children's toy.
This actor looks like Indiana Jones in this video.
Yeah, he does a little bit.
With this little business outfit with the nice khakis, nice belt, some Tomb Raider belt buckle straps for suspenders, and a nice business suit.
It
I
is
think
like a snappy, iconic looking outfit. Yeah.
yeah, I agree. I think this toy looks like shit. I just want to throw it out there. Not like not the driver itself,
But
just the
the
part.
strap part.
Yeah, the part that's changing the game and that helps it fit around your shoulders instead of around your waist. That looks bad to me. I'm sure
I
like
think
they'll gussy it up for the show and stuff, but
I think they must also think it looks bad too, because if you watch the commercial, when they show the wide shots of the actor, it has a different strap, and you don't see the clear strap until they zoom in on the chest. But like the
okay.
wide shots, it has like a black strap, and then when it's actually on the rider, like when you're in full henshin suit, it has a red strap on it. So they are doing everything they can to change the strap out whenever they possibly can. And yeah, it seems like mainly the toy is the one that has the really cheap looking strap.
Well, that's the part that people like me would buy. So I
Yep.
feel bad.
False advertisement. Get these kids in a class action lawsuit. What are we doing?
Yeah, let's get it going.
um, Shade says like I've covered last time, Zetsu's transformation items work like a zoetrope. So there's 4 pictures in the ball, and you spin it to create the illusion of movement, and that effect can easily be made into GIFs. So they did. And Shade links the GIFs for all of the little items are called capsims. So all the capsims that we've seen so far, there's like a 4-frame GIF for each of them, and they're very cute. So they got posted in our Discord, and yeah, they're super super fun. They're all like 8-bit style writers that are like emoting, basically is what it is.
I was getting attacked by Kuga gifts today from the show, so now it all checks out. All I heard, all I heard was, "Hey, look, these work," and then I got Kuga'd, but now I know where it came from. The gifts actually do look really really slick.
Yeah, they're very like, I guess, stylized is what the word I'm looking for is. Like they're clearly distinct that they came from this thing. It's not just like they're just random gifts. It's like they have a very specific art style to them, and like, yeah, the way that they're like, just 4 frames is also very kind of like clearly from these things. I really like how they look. Shade says, let's check out this week's producers blog. This week's episode was a green screen heavy, so we have a lot of behind the scenes pictures of them on the green screen. The director mentioned in the blog that the goal for the episode was to make full use of our existing CG assets. So let's see that President Palace one more time. Let's see that hallway in the Stomach family one more time.
Yeah, they definitely maxed it out. They got their usage.
Yep.
Usage.
The blog confirms that the reason why Boca didn't recognize Shoma is because he couldn't tell the difference between humans, similar to how humans can't tell the difference in other species.
Hey, my instinct was right then. Straight out of the producer's mind, out of my mouth, or something like that.
Also, the production team made 2 Nielv costumes at the start of the series because they were expecting to do some action scenes with him, but they never expected for the extra costume to be used in this way. So that's neat. The blog also points out the contrast between Longo and Sachika's character. Longo is a business owner that profits off stealing of others' happiness, and Sachika has a business that brings happiness to others.
I didn't think of it that specifically, but I guess that works.
Yeah. Shane says, you guys may or may not recognize the part-timer that Longo kills, but we've met him before. I did recognize him, Toby, and I felt very proud of myself that I recognized him. But Shay tells us that he's the part-timer that appeared in episode 44, which is the clip show, the recap episode. He's the guy that met Nielv, and then he watched the training video on his little phone about the Kamen Riders. It's that same dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then he meets his untimely demise. The blog then just, as Shade says, the blog then just straight up explains what Unreal Engine is and how it works. For all the CG backgrounds.
Yeah, I think I forget what show it was. It was at some point that like I was watching the credits I pointed out to you, and not even just like these shows or like the other X8 or O's and all that stuff. Like Unreal Engine and Unity, I feel like the two big video game ones.
Yeah.
Well, there's definitely like two actual video game system things or engines, whatever you want to call them. They get used in a shitload of TV shows, and that always blows my mind.
Yeah, it's like the replacement for, I mean, like, I guess like maybe 10 years ago, you would have seen Blender show up more too for like 3D modeling and that kind of rendering. And now it's like, yeah, everyone's using like Unreal and or, what's the other one? You just said it's those two that you always see. Yeah.
Unity was there when
Unity.
I thought of.
Thank you. I just
Yeah.
lost the word. Yeah. So I feel like especially Unity because for a long time, I don't think there was a free version of Unreal Engine to get started. Now I think there is. So I think like Unreal Engine is growing in terms of its market share versus Unity. But like, yeah, now in both of those, it's like the hobbyist can get into them because you can download them for free and get started. But then like they're also like actual industry programs that get used in like real video games and stuff. So
Yeah.
they're very popular. Shay tells us that the director, who is also the pilot director for gavv, was involved in the making of the assets to make sure they were designed to be a space where effective shots can be taken. The unit world isn't entirely CGI though, because they shot the forest scene on location. The scene was shot at late at night, which is something they rarely do. So that's how it was able to get that cool look with the red lights and stuff.
And like we said, it definitely stuck out.
Yeah. Absolutely did. Yeah, it felt very different than the rest of the show, and not in a bad way. It was just very like, oh wow, yeah, we're really doing something special here. The end of the blog, they shared some behind the scenes materials from the movie, but they're a bit spoilery, so Shade is holding off on those. But Shade did share a picture of Hanto dressed as an Uber Eats guy, because he's looking pretty ridiculous. Shade says, "All right, have a nice day, everyone."
Yeah, like double checking all like the official sponsors of the show. Like this one at least is only Unreal Engine for like a bigger one, but they have all sorts of things of like all the different like digital things that they use. Like Honda is a sponsor because of the motorcycles we never see, I guess.
Yeah.
The one funny one to me is they have like the clothing companies, I guess, is like their own little category. And I recognize none of these companies, but Volcom is one of the sponsors, and they're a huge skating brand here.
That's funny. Yeah, that was one of my favorite like skate brands when I was a weird young poser wearing skate stuff as a young child.
Volcom and Hurley for me. Those are always my go-to.
Yeah,
and Hurley only because Blink-182 always wear it. I felt like I was cool in.
Oh yeah, they were big in the Hurley stuff. I never had anything, but I always wanted like Atticus clothes, but I was never cool enough or never was able to talk my parents into ordering me any Atticus stuff.
I wanted that too. They had shoes that had like the dead bird on them. I specifically remember wanting those shoes. I never got them. But that reminds me that I should like look on like Etsy or eBay quick, see if I can find used Atticus shoes, because maybe I can live the dream.
You're an adult now. You can just do that. Yeah.
Josh, this is super old. Growing up, I always thought like all the cool kids had Pumas, like the shoes.
And
I was like, I can't afford Pumas. They're like $70-$80. And I never had a pair like the entire time growing up. My mom couldn't swing that sort of financials for shoes I was going to destroy. But the one time in my 30s, I bought a pair of Pumas. I was very proud of myself. I still wear them every once in a while to this day. I think those are the ones that actually wore holes through the bottom where they weren't shoes anymore. I wore them so much. But I was like, I'm a fucking cool kid now. I did it.
Yeah. That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Shane, thanks very much for the email. Again, cast@commonwritersucks.com is the email address. If anyone out there wants to send us in an email, we'll do our best to read it on the show. And Toby, we also have a Patreon. Patreon.com/thecommentwriters is where you can find that. $3 a month will get you access to the Patreon, and we post all kinds of bonus content every single week up to the Patreon, usually in the form of what we call watch and reacts. Basically, we are watching a tokusatsu show. You get to watch it along with us. You get to hear our thoughts and our shock and our jokes along the way. Hopefully, it's like being in the room and hanging out with us while we watch the show. That's kind of the goal. And you, for $3 a month, get access to every piece of bonus content that we've ever posted on the Patreon, which at this point is quite a lot. All of Boon Boomjer, all of Xaid, all of Black Sun. We're currently watching through Goes Yuger and Don Brothers. Tons of stuff for you to check out. And if you're a little on the fence about whether it's worth the $3 or not, you can head over to the Patreon, patreon.com/thecommentwriters. And we got a bunch of free episodes, first episodes of the different series, where you can give it a little sample and see what you think and see if it's worth your hard-earned money. But we'd be happy to have you in the Patreon if you do think it sounds cool. And if you sign up, you get access to the Discord as well. You get to hang out and talk to us all week long.
Wow.
That's my spiel about the Patreon. Toby, why don't you tell the people where they can find you on the internet?
On XC Everything app, it's Life of Tobes. On YouTube, it's Tobes Plays. And on Retro Achievements, which I'm once again trying to get back into, it's Tobes Plays as well.
For me, you can find me on Blue Sky at meek.lol is my personal account. And the show is at commonwritersucks.com over there. And of course, do check out the Patreon, patreon.com/thecommentwriters. And if you would be so kind, give us a subscribe on whatever platform you're listening on. And if you can write us a review or leave a comment wherever you might be listening. That certainly helps us with the algorithms, as it were. And, puts us maybe in the face of more potential Common Writer fans, which is always nice.
Be a comment writer for the comment writers. And
Beautiful.
Write a comment for the writers.
Well done. Well done, sir.
Thank you.
So with that, we will leave you. We will be back here next time to talk about episode 47. We hope you come back to also talk about that. But in the meantime, we hope you have a great week, everybody. Peace.